very much.
Thank you.
T.J. Rogers. Well, ratings agency Standard & Poor's sent to Congress today. Now, was it to enlighten or, some critics tell it, threaten to Republican New York Congresswoman Dan Hayworth, who set up this meeting? Congresswoman, why did you set this up? What were you hoping to gain from this?
Neil, it's so important to make crucial decisions with the best possible information, so we thought it would be highly valuable to have Standard & Poor's come and talk with us. And not only did Standard & Poor's come, but also Brian Reed, who's the chief economist for the Investment Companies Institute, and Dan Cohen of the Depository Trust Clearing Corporation, and Srini Ramaswamy.
And what did they say, Congresswoman? What did they tell you, your
JP
colleagues?
Morgan. Well, they told us that the consequences, the potential consequences of not raising the debt ceiling could be quite severe in a number of ways. And not only that, but that our long-term approach to the debt is highly important and will be examined by not only Standard & Poor's, but also by the markets.
All right, so did they mention in any of this conversation today with your colleagues, Congresswoman, that it has to be more than just raising the debt ceiling to get us past this hump? In other words, if it was a debt ceiling hike without corresponding cuts, did they say that would be just as threatening as doing what we're doing now?
Clearly, it's not enough for the long term only to raise the debt ceiling. They do want to see the markets, that is to say, without entering into any specifics, although Standard & Poor's has specified, they want to see a long plan that responsibly addresses the debt.
Did you organize this with Speaker Boehner, ma'am? Did he say, you know, yeah, I think this is a very good idea. We've got to wake these folks up and let them know what's at stake here?
No, this was a completely independent effort.
Independent by whom?
By me.
By you. And yeah, because you're in New York, you had access at a certain point of view that maybe some of your colleagues do not, right?
We are fortunate to have that perspective, and it's not a financial services industry limited perspective. It is one that affects every citizen in the United States. It's not only Wall Street, it is Main Street, and it is, as TJ said, about the people who get up every morning and pay their mortgage and pay their car loans and need to have jobs to go to.
Were any of them, was the fear of God put into any of them? I mean, did some of them say, holy goodness, all right, I'll sign on to something?
This was a very vigorous exchange. It's clear that our members are thinking seriously about this issue and that they are formulating decisions accordingly. So it was very encouraging to see and to hear the amount of thoughtful consideration they're giving the implications of all of these decisions that we're making. Now,
not to shoot the messenger, did anyone bring up with S&P that they missed the whole financial meltdown, that their track record on real estate and a host of other problems hasn't exactly been prescient? And so it would be much like me offering you dietary advice. You wouldn't need it, Congresswoman, but you wouldn't want it coming from me. So when S&P is schooling me on things financial, it would give me pause.
Well, that's why, in fact, although I have full respect for the S&P in terms of the objective counsel that they gave, but we also had our other experts at the beginning of the segment. Gotcha. So it was a broad and fully informed perspective, and it was entirely objective and highly useful.
Okay, Congresswoman, thank you very much. Good seeing you.
Thank you.
You know, this thing is moving so fast, so furious.